What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our Week 5 NFL preview and picks. I got Ethan joining me as always. And our
Yes, sir.
special guest this week is Jack Salaticky, other known as Slats. He is going to be looking to dethrone Cam Miggs for the best picks. But before we get into that, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. We'll be getting to 200 subscribers, and then we will be doing our autographed item giveaway. Let's get into it here. Obviously, you had a great week last week, going 13-3. Which game were you kind of most surprised that you either won, or which one that lost?
I'd say that Detroit-Seattle game is tough because I honestly did not see Seattle playing as well as they did. And then Indianapolis, never picking for them the rest of the season. So we all know that now. And then Steelers, obviously, that's tough. Get a loss, but whatever.
And then there's me, of course, obviously always taking the close games and losing. It happens every year. But Jack, you are gonna have to beat Cam Miggs in his 11-4 record. So 12-4, obviously, because there's 16 games this week. We'll get it done for you. How confident do you think you are to getting that done?
73% is a tough number to beat, but I'm looking for an A here. We're going for a 90 or above.
Oh, 90. He's going for 15-1.
We're shooting for 100.
And so we'll start with the first game. Denver, Indy, big story here is Jonathan Taylor being out. Ethan, do you want to talk about that?
Like I just said, I'm never picking the Colts again. So obviously, without Jonathan Taylor, the Colts are going to be even less explosive on offense. The way they've been looking, they definitely need Jonathan Taylor in that lineup to provide any type of offense. So not too happy about the Broncos, but they're going to win this game.
Jack, what do you feel? Same thing?
Same thing here. I think Russell Wilson's looking for a little revenge tour now after a slowish start, and hearing the Geno Smith talk, I think he really turns it on this week and starts a good trail for the rest of the year.
And I think the big thing for me is the ground game for the Broncos. I think the Broncos will win this game, but obviously with Javonte out for the year now, will Melvin Gordon step up, limit his fumbling issues, or will it be Mike Boone or Latavius Murray that could possibly, take over as the lead back? But we'll move over to my Packers playing Sunday morning, 9:30 in London. I think this is the time where the Packers are going to air it out, let it loose against a decent Giants team this year. But I think Rodgers and company is going to be too much for the Giants.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Green Bay is going to be able to pass it all over them in the first half anyway. Funny thing is the Packers haven't really scored many points on offense in that second half, so watch out for that. If the Giants stick around, we could be having a different story here. But for now, I'm going to keep my pick with the Packers.
And I'm also sticking with the Packers on this one. Fun stat I found was that heavy favorites are 4-0 in London, and I don't see that changing here with the Packers, so I'm riding with the Packers.
And then starting at 1, Ethan, I'm going to let you talk about Kenny Pickett and your Steelers.
So Kenny Pickett is going to provide a big spark to the Steelers offense. I think if you're a betting man, which a lot of our viewers I'm sure are, Buffalo -14, I mean, you got to take the Steelers to cover at least. It's actually 14.5 is what the spread, I think, changed this morning. But, they could lose by 2 touchdowns and still cover. So that's definitely what I think is going to happen. Steelers don't play blowouts very often. They usually keep it close and play good football. So unbiased or whatever.
No, it's
biased.
That's so biased.
I'm still taking the Bills to win the game. So
Bills by 24. That's all I have to say.
My one piece of information here is that when Josh Allen is favored by more than 12 points, he always covers in the second half. So for any of our bettors out there, take that -6 in the second half and it should be free money on Sunday morning.
And another game that all of us are picking, I'm surprised that the spread is only -3. I think that's more of just because the Chargers have had their defensive struggles. But I do like that spread and straight up pick as well for the Chargers. I think if Keenan Allen plays, then that spread might go up a little bit. But he's still questionable for this matchup. But if he plays, I think the Chargers have no problems throwing around on that Browns defense.
Yeah, I agreed there. I think they're just a better team, more explosive. Now, if Justin Herbert, it seems like he's fine with his ribs, but it's getting, I think the line might be that close just because, you never know how Herbert's going to play, bounce back after another game of getting hit. So that's probably why the line's so close, but I'm taking the Chargers as well.
And I'm also rolling with the Chargers here, but I am a little nervous with the Chargers pass protection. With Myles Garrett coming hot off the edge, it'll be interesting to see how they hold up and protect an injured Herbert, or he could be injured. We're not really sure as of now, but this will be an interesting game to watch.
And another game that all of us are going the same here. We're going Jacksonville, the surprise team, I guess you could say, that's 2-2 or better this year. And they're going against the Texans, who are still winless. And, that's pretty much all I need to know about this team. I think Lawrence is obviously having a great bounce back year from his rookie year. James Robinson is taking the role of running back 1 over ETN. And Christian Kirk has looked pretty solid for that money.
Yeah, I'm with you here. Jaguars a lot better. They've looked a lot better this season than they did last year, and I think they're going to continue with that today or on Sunday. So yeah, Jaguars -7. I think I'm taking the Jags in this one.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Jags here. I think they take this game pretty handily, and Trevor Lawrence should have a pretty good game passing against this rough Texans defense.
And yet again, we are all going the same here with the Vikings beating the Bears. I think this Bears team, the record is better on paper than I think this team really is. Week 1, obviously they beat the Niners against Trey Lance, and he struggled in the rain, pouring rain, and that obviously favored the Bears, and the Niners couldn't get anything moving on offense. And since that point, this Bears team has really struggled. And I think this is a game where you see Minnesota absolutely air it out on that Bears secondary, and expect Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen to have big games.
Yep. I'm with you there. Vikings should roll here at home, especially in a 1:00 game where Cousins is perfectly comfortable. I think that offense is going to play really good and lead them to a win against the Bears.
And I also have the Vikings in this one. I think they take this one pretty easily. I think this Bears team is pretty fraudulent with 2 wins, one being against the worst team in the league, and the next win being in Hurricane of Chicago. So I think they take this game pretty easily against the Bears.
And yet again, we're all still picking the same. So either we're all going to be right or we're all going to be wrong here. But we're going with the Lions on the road. They're getting 3 points, highest scoring offense and highest defense points given up as well. But I think that's going to change here this week. I think the Lions will put up 30 against this Patriots team.
Yeah, I'm with you here. It's kind of like the Patriots can't move the ball and the Lions can't stop anybody. So it's going to be a really interesting thing to see unfold. I think the Patriots are going to score quite a few points, but the Lions, I hope, will come out on top here.
And we're rolling with the Detroit Lions, baby. Gotta get the jersey on, got the hat. We're rolling with them. They're going to win easily win this game, cover the spread, and send a lot of fans and bettors home happy this weekend, beating the mighty Patriots.
And finally, our first disagreement. Ethan, I'll let you take over here, going with the Saints.
So yeah, I'm going to take the Saints at home. I think this is a good matchup for them. I think they can stop that Seahawks offense that's been quite hot with Geno Smith. And I think they're going to be able to score some points this weekend as well, finally getting that passing offense going. It's hard to pick the Seahawks, which is not a good of a roster, on the road against the Saints. I just don't think I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Saints will win this game.
Yeah, see, that's where I think Geno's going to cook this week. The Saints team, they've struggled. Andy Dalton or James Winston, we still don't know who it's going to be this week. Michael Thomas, is he going to play? Kamara? Still lots of question marks around that Saints team. And I'm going with the Seahawks in the upset.
Yeah, I agree with you here, Zach. I think there's too many question marks with this Saints roster here. And I think the Seahawks have been playing pretty good football this year, despite their record. And I think the Saints are going to be on a post-London hangover. I think they're coming back off a close win against a decent Vikings team, and I don't think they're going to be prepared to face this Seahawks team that's had a pretty explosive offense this year.
And I'll start it off here with the surprise upset with the Jets upsetting the Dolphins at home. I think Zach Wilson's showing last week, his game-winning drive against the Steelers, really showed me all I need to know about this Jets team this year. They're resilient. They have a good run game and pass catchers this year. And when you have Zach Wilson back, obviously he's a 20 quarterback, I'll say right now, in the league. So if you put all those things together, and with Sauce Gardner trying to guard Tyreek, I like that matchup. I think the Jets can stifle the Dolphins and escape with a narrow victory.
I'm going to take the Dolphins here. Who's the backup quarterback for the Dolphins?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater. I think it's not much of a drop off from Tua to Teddy Bridgewater. So definitely going to take the Dolphins in this one. I think it's going to be a close game. Good AFC East football, but I'm going to take the better team overall. I do think the Jets have some fight in them though, and they're going to keep this one close.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Dolphins on this one. I think Teddy Two Gloves kind of takes over this roster and guides them to a win or two when they need it without Tua gone. But this game is really going to show what Tua means to this team and how he holds them together. So this will really show a lot for the Dolphins as a franchise.
And then moving back to all of us taking the same. We're going with Tampa after a very high scoring but unusual game for those Bucks. Giving up 41 on defense to the Mahomes and company. I think they're going to rebound and give up probably 13 or less here to the Falcons. Really stifle them, and I think Brady will have a decent game. And last week they only had 3 rushing yards, so I think that's obviously going to be one of their main points this week to focus on. So expect Leonard Fournette to have a big game.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Tampa Bay should win the game. I think they're going to actually blow out the Falcons in this one. Tom Brady, he just posted a new TikTok, said he was feeling better than ever. So I believe him. I think the Bucks are going to win this game.
Yeah, I'm also sticking with the Bucks here. I agree with you guys. I think it'll be a pretty big blowout here for the Bucks, but I don't think it'll be too high scoring of a game. I think they'll keep the Falcons to a minimum and kind of stay in either like the 21 to 24 point range here for.
And Ethan, we didn't get your pick for this one, so we'll start with you. Who are you going with here?
All right. I'll take the Commanders at home.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the best idea, but hey, you know what? Go with the upset. Washington hasn't played great the last 2 weeks, but I believe in that Carson Wentz to Curtis Samuel connection, and I think they're going to score some points at least. I mean, Tennessee's not great against the receiver this year so far, so I think it'll be a close game, and I'm just going to take the Commanders because they're at home.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Titans here. I think Derrick Henry is going to absolutely abuse that front. The front that the Washington Commanders have really relied on for the last 2 years with Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, but those guys just aren't existent right now in that front. And I think that's where this game is going to be determined up front in the trenches. And I think that's where the Titans have the advantage.
And I'm spinning off of Ethan's pick here. I think the Titans come into the Commander Stadium and just embarrass them in the Commander Stadium. It's one of the worst home stadiums in the league, lowest attendances. And I think the Titans use this as a statement game to kind of rebuild to what they were last year when they were at the top of their conference. And this is a hungry team and a hungry Derrick Henry looking for a lot more than they have right now.
And then moving over to the 4:00 slate. I'll let you talk about this one, Slat.
We're rolling with Carolina here. It's Baker Mayfield time. He's had about 4 games to really get it accompanied to this offense and this personnel. I think he finally breaks through, gets a big win, and tries to build off this for the weeks to come.
And I'm going with the other way. I'm going with the Niners on the road. The stat I saw today was Cam Newton through 4 games last year had 100 less yards, 1 less touchdown, and 1 more interception than Baker had under Matt Rule. And I think it's a Matt Rule problem at this point. It's not a quarterback problem. And sooner or later, he is going to be out the door. And I think this might be the tipping point for that. So I'm going with the Niners, and I expect Matt Rule to either be fired within the next few weeks.
Yeah, that's a good take. I think the Niners are going to win as well. I just think they're the better roster, better team. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Niners.
At 4:25, we have a game that features the only undefeated team left in the NFL with the Eagles, and I like the Eagles on the road here. Arizona, they struggle early. They are a very bad first half team this year. So if you're betting, I would go with the Philly to cover in the first half. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's 3 the last time I checked. So I would go with Philly to cover the first half for sure. And I expect them to win outright as well. I think this will be a 2-possession game. Hurts, Sanders, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. The Cardinals can't cover that like they used to. They have a good front, but I just can't see the secondary being able to hang with all those weapons.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Eagles have been they definitely have been a top 3 team in the league so far, the only undefeated team. But I think they come into Arizona and beat them pretty decently. I think they're going to control the clock, control the time of possession, and I think that they're going to score a good amount of points and roll against the Cardinals.
And I'm taking the surprise pick here with the Cardinals. I think they have a decent enough pass rush and secondary to try to contain Hurts. I think that's exactly what they'll do. They'll try to make him pass. They'll try to make him make a mistake, and they're going to try to capitalize on that at home. So I'm taking the Cardinals here, and I think if they will win, I'd parlay that with the over if I was a betting man, because I'll see this as being a shootout in Arizona.
And the last 425 game of the day, we got the Cowboys and Rams. Ethan, I'll let you go with your Rams pick here.
Yeah, the Rams have a lot of problems. Their O-line's not great. But you know what? They're at home and they're the better. I think they're still a better team, especially with Cooper Rush leading them. The Cowboys have looked really good, winning the last 3 games with him. But I think this is the time where their winning streak ends. And I think the Rams and Cooper Kupp are going to have a big day. Matt Stafford's going to throw the ball around, and the Rams are going to win it here.
And this is where I'm different from you here. If Allen Robinson can actually get involved in this offense, then I like the Rams' chances in this game. But until he gets involved in this offense, it's Cooper Kupp or bust. And at this point, Micah Parsons, Travion Diggs, that's a good 1-2 combo because Parsons can guard Higbee, who has been the second option by far this year. And when you can limit the second option and you're going to force things to the number 1 option, I think there's going to be some mistakes. And I think that's where Dallas capitalizes with a very close win.
Yep, but I'm also taking Dallas here. I think this Dallas defense, as you said, Zach, is just going to stifle Stafford here. He might throw a couple of picks in this game, and that's just going to be too much to keep him in this game. I think Dallas wins this pretty handily, and I've been seeing this line drop all week from -7 to -4.5, and I think Vegas knows, and I know that Dallas is pretty hot right now. So
yeah, Ethan has no clue, obviously, but Jack, I'll let you go here with your Bengals pick.
I think Joe Burrow gets it done in Baltimore. He started off pretty slow this year, but after the first couple of games, he's really started to heat up. And that's all I really got to say. It's Joe Burrow time in Baltimore.
I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. I think they've been playing better football, lost a couple leads late in the game against the Dolphins. But you know what? I think the Ravens are going to win this game pretty handily, but I'm saying like 10 points. Would be the cover, I think. But yeah, Ravens better roster.
Here's all I gotta say. I saw CBS Sports put out a stat today. The Ravens are 2-2, but they've only been trailing for a total of 14 seconds this year. So that means that this team could either be 0-4 or 4-0 or anywhere in between. So they're sitting 2-2, obviously, and that's kind of where they should be if they play that many close games. And I expect them to absolutely throttle the Bengals here. The Bengals are kind of going on a rhythm. They're getting their footing back, obviously a little hungover off of the Super Bowl run. And I think that's where the Ravens got to get them this week because, divisional games matter early in the season. And there's also been a stat where one team, at least every year, goes worst to first in the division and wins the division. And I think that team can be the Ravens this year. And if they can get this big win in week 5, I think the Ravens are going to be off and flocking. But we have our last game of the week with the Raiders going on the road to the Chiefs. And simple as this, when you have Patrick Mahomes, that's pretty much all you need, especially the way he's been playing these first 4 games. He has looked like the best quarterback in the league this year, and he's playing like it as well. Even without Tyreek, Mahomes is still a magician and gets things done. And they actually have a run game as well this year with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Pacheco. And with the Raiders defense and how they've been playing lately, I do not like this matchup at all. So I got to go with the Chiefs.
Yep. I mean, if you saw the way they've been playing the Chiefs recently, especially on Sunday Night Football last week, I don't think there's any team that's going to beat them this week. And it's going to be a close one because it's divisional and they always play each other tough. But Chiefs are not going to take the Raiders lightly. So that's going to be big for them. And I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Yep, I'm rolling with them too. I think Patrick Mahomes lives and breathes these primetime games. I think he wins this pretty easily against a struggling Raiders team. And you could bring Jackson Mahomes, Brittany Mahomes, you could bring any of them there. Doesn't matter. Patrick's still coming up on top.
And that's going to be it for the video today. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button to be informed when we're releasing all these picks videos, betting tips, everything in between. But until the next time, thank you, Jack. Thank you, Ethan. Bench Buddies are out.